Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Admissions on Facebook Live. I'll go ahead and say, we're a little worried about the weather. It's not hitting yet. So if you're your student's off tomorrow, you're now wondering what to do, so you're surfing on Facebook, you've come to the right place. We're gonna tell you all about admissions and Kennesaw State University, and we have a special guest with us today as well. But my name is Jordan Stevenson. I am the Interim Director of Student Recruitment.
I'm Casey Waldsmith, and I'm the Communications and Marketing Specialist for the Honors College.
And I'm Jacinta Lester. I'm the Senior Admissions Counselor.
So you've already probably figured out, Casey works with the Honors College, and we're going to talk all about honors tonight. The Honors College at KSU is very unique. You're going to hear why we think it's unique, and hopefully you'll find it to be something that you or your student very interested in. And we're going to give you a lot of resources tonight. So we're definitely going to have times where we're going to ask Casey some questions, but we also want to hear your questions. And then we want to answer anything else that you've got in terms of what you're thinking about with KSU. Have you applied yet? Have you not? Where are you in your application? Whether you're a senior in high school or you're a student looking to transfer, or maybe you're an adult learner and you're looking to come back to school, we would love to help you out. So now's the time to ask those questions. But we're just excited to have our special guest. So Casey, I have the pleasure of working with Casey on Fridays, and other days during the week, but on Fridays we do this thing called A Day with Honors, which is a campus tour where you hear an information session from Honors, find out all about how special our Honors College is, and then we get you out on campus and we show you campus from an Honors perspective. So I get to work with Casey with A Day with Honors, and I absolutely enjoy working with her. She's one of my favorite people on campus.
We have fun.
Yes,
yeah.
we have fun. Yeah, super professional, and she has all of your honors answers ready to go. Yeah. So what I want to do right now is let's go ahead and jump in and let Casey tell you about the Honors College, and maybe even a little bit more about herself. And then maybe some questions will come up, and we'll make sure to ask her, or Jacinta and I will answer admissions questions and things like that. So Casey, how did you get here?
That's a great question. So I actually, I'm an alum of KSU, soon to be two-time alum. I'll be graduating with a master's degree in May.
All right, congrats,
so
yay.
I'm excited.
Hooty-hoo.
Yes, and so I actually started with the Honors College back in January of 2017. And it's just been awesome. I feel like I have the best position on campus, because not only do I get to do things that I love, like marketing and communications, but I get to work with students. So I get to, bring them in, and then I get to see them as they transition through their college years, which is really cool, and see them when they graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Tell people a little bit more about the Honors College, like maybe the size of the Honors College, and then let's get into what makes the Kennesaw State University Honors College different than other honors colleges or honors programs.
Yeah, we have a really unique honors program, probably the most unique program in the nation. And the reason for that is because we have a dean who came in July of 2016. And when she came in, she had a really solid foundation to work with, and then she decided that she knew she wanted other students to benefit from honors. She wanted to grow the program. So she developed what we call a flexible curriculum. So if you look at other honors colleges, you'll notice that it's typically 24 hours of prescribed coursework. And she decided that she wanted students to be able to choose based on what they're interested in without adding time to degree or cost to degree. So we basically let you customize your experience and take what you're interested in until you graduate. So it's really neat.
So what I'm really hearing too is, because you talked about customization, and it really sounds like students are able to build their honors piece to the total degree program, like what they're doing for their degree. They're able to really pick and choose what interests them, that sounds really interesting to me, and I know that it works because you've got somebody that's majoring in, say, biology and is pre-med, and they're looking at specific courses that may help them in their pre-med application, applying to medical schools or preparing for the MCAT, things like that. But then you've also got the other side of the coin where you may have somebody that wants to major in dance, or someone that wants to do what I did, which is a degree in religion. And That's not the same, right? Yeah, and my interests, and we're probably going to talk about some of this later on too, my interests would be totally different. Is that what I'm hearing?
And that's what we found, is that someone who maybe is majoring in biology, if they're pre-med, they really want to be working in a lab and they can get honors credit for that, rather than someone who maybe is in business and they want to do an internship. So the whole thing is customization and getting those opportunities while you're in college and kind of building up your portfolio so that when you graduate from KSU, you have a really solid foundation.
And before, I know I'm monopolizing all the conversation, but before we go any further, what's a website? What's the website for the Honors College, so that maybe we've got some people out there that are watching and they're like, okay, I want to actually go and look at honors a little closer, and then maybe they'll have some questions for us.
It's really hard to remember. honors.kennesaw.edu. So if you go there, it's full of information, everything from eligibility requirements, our curriculum, everything is there. So.
Okay, honors.kennesaw.edu. Boom.
Easy.
Okay, I think we've got a question.
Ooh,
So let's jump in for some questions,
Awesome.
and then we'll keep going talking about the Honors College.
So is there such thing as an honors orientation? And if so, when will those dates be released?
Nice.
Yes. So one of the huge benefits of being part of the Honors College is priority registration, which is like gold on this campus. And so students who are coming in as a freshman, they do get their own orientation. It's the very first one, and it is May 31st.
Nice. And that's, now, what Casey says, it's like gold, priority registration. We are a large public university. We're serving over 33,000 undergraduate students, almost 36,000 total students. So when Casey says you get priority registration in the Honors College, it really is a perk in the Honors College to be able to know you're going to get the schedule that you need so that you can have that lab time, or so that you can have a great off-campus internship. Or you can engage in other undergraduate research that you need to engage in to really enhance your education. So I think that's a huge perk. It's not the reason why you do honors or you engage in honors education, but it is a great benefit.
Okay, our next question comes from Bonnie. She says her daughter qualifies for Honors College, but is not sure how it will work as a performance studies major with a concentration in musical theater, and she wants to live in the arts LLC. Any thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah, so the other nice thing about honors is that because you can customize it, it works with every degree on campus. And then within the Honors College, we also have honors advisors who meet with students every semester to figure out what the honors learning experience is that's going to fit best with what their path is to graduation.
And Bonnie, we'll talk about the honors learning experiences so that you have a good sense, and your daughter has a good sense of what she could pick from that will really fulfill her honors requirements, fulfill the honors needs, as well as enhance her undergraduate major and concentration. Is there anything else?
Yep, there is another question. It's more, we're going to address why there's difficulty getting classes, labs, and corresponding science classes. How can students work through that?
Gotcha. So is that from a current student?
This is a current student, yes.
Okay, so current student asking a question about difficulty getting classes. I hope you're currently enrolled for spring. So just, chat with us, type back, let us know. So we've talked a lot about that here at the institution. I would definitely recommend for other people that are watching this, go back and see my response from a previous Facebook Live. I think it was the last one, actually, which would have been in December. But there's some things that we're actively engaging in across the institution. President Witten, coming into the institution, really wanted to look across the landscape of what we're doing on the academic side of our institution. And there have been a lot of pushes within the academic affairs side to enhance our advising, to open up more opportunities for advisement for students, to be able to change the way that we open up registration for classes and how long registration stays open. We tried out this last semester for spring waitlisting and offering an array of waitlist options for students so that we could get a good gauge of the classes that students really wanted to take and needed to take for graduation, but also at what times they wanted to take them. And we're doing our absolute best to be able to schedule out classes in the appropriate times that meet your needs as students, that meet your degree requirements, because that's another thing that President Witten is emphasizing right away when she came here was we do not want to increase time to degree. And that's one thing I'm very proud to be a part of here at KSU is that we are actively looking at our student population, which we are a special institution at a very special place in Metro Atlanta that gets to serve every type of student. We serve students that are here on Pell Grants, that are paying their own way for school, don't have any family support, all the way up to the student that doesn't need to take out financial aid and everybody in between. So we're doing our best to be able to create an environment that makes classes accessible when you need them accessible, and we're actively working on that. My biggest encouragement would be register as soon as you can. So when you look at your Owl Express, you know registration's open, and if you're a student out there that hasn't looked at that and you're maybe not paying attention, I would recommend that you get into Owl Express on a daily basis so that you're keeping up with all the things that are going on here at the institution. You're keeping up with your registration timelines. You're keeping up when your tuition payments due or when you need to submit things to financial aid. If you're a new student, you're signing up for orientation. You're getting in for the earliest possible orientation. So that's a huge benefit that Casey was talking about with honors is you come to one of the first orientations and you're going to get to sign up for classes in the first round of summer orientation. So for other students, if you're not coming, say, for honors, or you're looking for the best possible time, when you look at your schedule for the summer, please sign up for the earliest possible orientation because you'll end up with the best pick of classes. But otherwise, we're really trying to make things accessible for students. We have a full array of online classes. We have e-core classes. We have hybrid classes. So I would say that really one of the biggest things is getting in there as soon as you can, making sure you're signing up for the classes you need to graduate, and you're going to know that by talking to your academic advisor, and that is a perk of the Honors College is that you have an Honors College advisor. You also have your major advisor. So you have a group of people that are really looking out for you and making sure that you're staying on track to graduate. But that's really my advice. But let me say that we as an institution are actively finding ways to continue to better ourselves. And that's really the promise that we're giving you, that we are looking at all of our processes to find ways to make this better. And this is not unique to Kennesaw State. If you look and you talk to your friends out there, especially at big public institutions, this is something that we're really trying to get a handle on. And I'm very pleased with the progress that we've made, even in the short amount of time that President Witten has been here. And if you have further follow-up or questions, just feel free to hit us back. And if it gets really deep, then we can start an email thing.
Okay. Our next question comes from Christy. Her son is a dual enrollment student. Last semester, his GPA was a 3.75.
Nice. Way to go.
Mm-hmm. Is honors qualification based on this GPA from KSU or his high school transcript?
It is based on the KSU calculated GPA. Yeah.
So that's really the high school GPA that we calculate in admissions, test scores, so SAT, ACTs, and then actually applying to the Honors College. But I'll say, I'm going to speak for honors. If they see a 3.75 in KSU coursework, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that is
knocking
fabulous.
it out of the park.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. Mary Beth, our question from earlier about orientation for honors wants you to talk a little bit more about how to register for that. They're scheduled for the June 4th orientation, but can't find honors Kennesaw State University orientation and transition programs.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
Yeah, so we actually have someone that's housed within the Honors College, and one of the things that she does in her role is specifically focus on honors orientation. So if you're having trouble finding that for whatever reason, if you'll just send us an email at honors@kennesaw.edu, we'll make sure that your question gets to her, and then we'll get you squared away.
Awesome. Okay, Ben Johnson is a senior in high school.
Tons of questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots
I
are
love
coming
it.
in.
Where's Ben a senior?
Yeah.
Ben, let us know.
Yeah, he didn't say. He just said he's a senior.
Okay.
And he's planning to attend KSU for mechatronics in the fall.
Awesome.
Hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo.
We're on the Marietta campus right now.
We are.
Yeah,
I
open
can,
house.
I can feel the robots. Close. They're close.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry. It's Gotta make this somewhat fun.
Do you feel like it would be more beneficial for me to apply for the engineering LLC or the honors LLC? Or?
That's a great question. It's really what your preference is. So the nice thing about honors housing is that you don't have to live in it, but you're more than welcome to apply for it. And they have their own programming. The same person who's housed within honors who focuses on orientation also focuses on honors housing. So they have special events, and then a lot of students, we notice they really like to be with kind of like-minded individuals who they really value, study time. They like those events, but then they also, when it comes to finals week, like to have that more quiet space. So it just kind of depends on what your preference is.
Okay, great. Okay, we have another question from Lisa.
We like it.
They're really coming in. Her daughter is a senior in high school, doesn't say which one. According to her KSU app, her GPA is 3.31. Her app is currently waiting for her final transcripts. She's pursuing music education. The question is, if she didn't test well on the ACT or SAT, does she have a chance of being accepted? Is there anything she can do to improve her odds aside from taking the tests again?
Are we talking general admission or are we talking honors college?
If you could clarify, Lisa, if you're talking general admission to KSU or to the honors. I'm thinking it's honors because she says her KSU app has a 3.31 GPA. So she has some KSU hours.
Okay, well, how about we talk about both?
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the first one?
Well, what I was going to say is if Lisa's name?
Lisa.
We can also go more in depth. We can look later at your daughter's file, so that way we can look and see about her test scores, because sometimes what you guys think are low test scores may not be as low as what we're looking for admissions. So for traditional admission requirements, what we look for is a student to have a 20 composite on the ACT with an 18 in the English and an 18 in the math. If they take the SAT, it's a 1030 total, 490 in the math, and a 25 on the reading test score. And then the recalculated GPA only in your core classes, so weightlifting's not in that, but it's going to be a 2.5 or higher in your academic core classes. So that's what we're looking for admission traditionally to the university, but we can actually go ahead and start talking about requirements for honors if that's okay.
Sure. So to be in the honors college when you're coming out of high school, you need either a 3.5 GPA with a 1220 SAT or a 25 ACT. We accept either one. If you don't meet that, as long as you have a 1300 SAT or a 28 ACT, then we accept a lower GPA of 3.25. The nice thing is, if you're thinking I don't meet any of those requirements, is that once you're here for one semester, if you get through that first semester of college coursework and you achieve a 3.25 GPA, you can apply for admission to the honors college, and then we'll accept you based on that new GPA, and we don't look at test scores after that. So if you're not eligible right now, just work through that first semester and then reapply.
So what if someone is eligible? They either have the 3.3 and the test scores, 1300 SAT?
At 1300 SAT
Okay,
or a
28 ACT.
Yes.
All right. Or if they have a 3.5, they can have a 1220 SAT or a 25 ACT.
Yes.
So if somebody out there, if these students, they have that and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to apply to the honors college, how do they do that? And what's the application like?
Yeah, it's really not bad. It's on the Honors College website. There's no cost to apply, and we get a lot of information from admissions. So we don't even ask for those things again, like GPA and test scores. We don't ask for transcripts or anything. We don't want to make you do double duty and put more things in that you've already inputted for KSU. So go to honors.kennesaw.edu, and then on the left-hand side of our website, you will see eligibility and application under prospective students. And you just fill out basically demographic information, and then we ask you to fill out 2 very short essay questions, and then you submit it, and then you'll hear back from us very quickly, usually within a few days. We do have 2 special cohorts within the Honors College, and we'll talk about those a little bit later, I think, but you can apply for those also through the Honors College application, so it's all on that one page.
Nice. So one application rules them all.
One, yes.
Okay, yep, there you go.
So I'm not sure if this question is general, so we'll touch on general and honors. What's the general turnaround time once you've submitted your application?
Okay. Talk about
Yep. So admission decisions usually are, what we call rolling admissions. So we accept students throughout the year. So we opened up our application in August of last year, and then we will close on June 1st of this year. So our decision turnaround time is usually about 3 to 4 weeks once we have in your application official high school transcript, which you can send through GA Futures, or in your test scores. Test scores have to come directly from SAT or ACT, but once we have those 3 pieces, then we will make a decision on your file in about 3 to 4 weeks. So we have what's called an application status check, so you'll go online and you can check your status there.
And if you have any questions, email us.
Yeah.
recruitment@kennesaw.edu. That's a great email to use. So recruitment@kennesaw.edu. And honors, you mentioned it's a couple of days.
It's usually a few days.
Yeah.
We're pretty quick. And then as far as deadlines are concerned, we don't have a deadline for the University Honors Program yet. The thing is that you don't get priority registration or eligibility for honors scholarships or housing or any of that good stuff until you have been accepted to the Honors College. So definitely don't wait to do your application. Go ahead and do it. For those special cohort programs that I mentioned a few minutes ago, the deadline for that is February 28th.
Okay, February 28th.
February 28th for those cohort
We'll talk
programs.
about those cohorts here in a little bit. Okay, cool.
Okay, so this one's not really a question, but let's touch on some of the things KSU is doing to rebrand and spread the word about KSU throughout the state of Georgia, out-of-state recruitment, that kind of thing, getting the word out about KSU. Maybe some of the brand efforts and that
Who's
kind of
asking
thing.
that?
His name is Patrick. It's not necessarily a question, but we're
Yeah.
doing so many wonderful things. I thought maybe you could expand a little bit on what's coming.
Yeah, sure.
He lives
I
in
don't know.
Augusta. He
There's-
lives in
In
Augusta. He's an
okay.
alum.
Okay, cool.
And,
Nice. Hooty hoo, go Owls.
Yeah. I know when I Google KSU2, Kansas State comes up. That's what it
Yeah.
says. We're working on that, Patrick.
Where's Kansas?
Okay.
I do know where Atlanta is. No offense, Kansans.
I think the Jayhawks.
No, that's not Kansas State. Neither here nor there.
Okay.
So some of the things that we're doing, there's some really exciting things that will be coming out. So I'm just going to put this teaser out there that I can't tell you about. So there's some really exciting things coming down the pipeline. So just watch social media, watch our website. You'll see when some of these new things are announced later on this semester. But right now, one of the big things that we're getting ready to do is get out on the road here in the spring. So admissions, we travel all over the state of Georgia. We are a Georgia serving institution heavily. Depends on the year, but we're anywhere from 90 to 92% of our student population comes from the state of Georgia. So you'll see our admissions recruiters out all over this state. This year we're very excited. We're going to go to 18 different large national college fairs all throughout the United States. We're going as far as California. We'll be in Texas. We'll be up in Pennsylvania. We'll be in New York and New Jersey. And then down here, all of the contiguous states. We are always traveling to our contiguous states, but we are actively trying to get the name of Kennesaw State University out there. And I'll say one thing that is out there in the open, and our strategic communications office has been putting out some incredible stories about students, about faculty, about our alums, just success stories. So if you're looking for learning about what goes on here at KSU, it's best heard from individuals and from the things that they've been able to accomplish or get involved in while they're here at KSU, and how KSU made a difference in their lives and ultimately led to opportunities outside of the institution. And I know Casey's going to talk about a couple of the students that have come through the Honors College or are in the Honors College now. And it's just an exciting time to be either at Kennesaw State, an alum of Kennesaw State. So I've got 2 alums up here, which is great. Like pretty much,
Becca.
right, Becca? Oh, sorry. Well, yes, yeah. That ghost that you can't see, that's Becca making sound. And then like half of my family has come here to Kennesaw State. So, and they pay my paycheck, so it's pretty special to me too. But no, it is an exciting time to be here and to come here as a student or to have come here back. I mean, I always tell a story about my neighbor who came here. He did 2 degrees, much like Casey. He did his undergrad well, and like you, in management, and then he ended up getting an MBA, and he's traveled all over the nation and done some really great things with his Kennesaw State degrees. But really, it's a prime time to come to Kennesaw State to have all the opportunities that surround us here in Atlanta, to be able to get involved in all of those things. But to be on a college campus, it's a true college campus. Whether you're on the Marietta campus or the Kennesaw campus, you're on a true college campus, and you've got everything you expect from a university environment here in a suburban campus, to have all the things that you're used to right around your campus. So we're going to talk all about the different things that are going on here as we continue on today. But really, I would tell you, I'm going to go back to it, but you need to watch out, because there's going to be some cool stuff coming out from the institution. And I'll plug President Witten again, but she's really been pushing and helping us from within the institution to continue to tell the Kennesaw State story and really make it about you, the student. So whether you're coming here or you're an alum, to really make it about you, the individual.
Awesome. So can you talk a little bit about orientation dates, just general orientation dates? We have a question from Bonnie from earlier. She's just curious about the dates being offered, if additional dates are going to be added. I think an earlier date was wanted. So are the dates for orientation all up, I guess, or are we going to be adding more?
Are we talking general orientation or honors?
General.
Okay, general
Okay.
orientation.
Yep.
So I would say, I believe all the orientation dates are available. And I know our orientation office, they work really hard to make sure that if they add anything, they let students know. But if you ever have questions about that, you can always reach out to the orientation office. I can't think of their email address right now, but
We can provide it in the comments.
we can provide it in the
Yeah.
comments and get that to you guys. So that way you can ask that question to orientation. We actually had orientation 2 Facebook Lives ago, and they're wonderful. So definitely, if you have questions about orientation, they will be able to answer that. But they should have all of the dates available to you
Yeah,
guys.
so Bonnie, go back and look at, it was two sessions ago,
Yes.
Facebook Live.
November.
Perfect.
Yes.
And you'll get to hear from Chelsea. And then I would recommend you go to their website. It's UC, so C as in cat, kennesaw.edu/orientation. That'll take you to their website. And then on the website, you can see if your student's an incoming freshman or a transfer student, whatever it may be. But really, you're going to see all of those orientation dates in Owl Express. So ultimately, your student is going to go through the portal to Owl Express and be able to sign up for orientation or see orientation dates in there. But we're doing orientation as early as May 31st,
31st.
all the way through August. So
And
all through the summer, it's like 20 different sessions.
Yeah, and remember that based on your major is what orientation will show in your Owl Express account. So you may not be seeing as many dates, because if your student is a Kennesaw State major, which is more liberal arts, business school, things like that, you will only see Kennesaw State dates. If you are Marietta base major, so mechatronics, computer science, construction management, then it will only show you Marietta dates for orientation.
All right, our next question comes from Ashley. She wants to know if an adult/non-trad student can transfer into the Honors College.
Ooh, good question. So as long as you have at least 4 semesters left, you can transfer into the Honors College.
So like 60 credit hours.
About 60
Maybe
credit
don't
hours.
put a number on it, but
Yeah, you know, some people get 2 degrees while they're here, and so, you know, as long as you have 4 semesters left, that allows you enough time to fully immerse yourself in the program and graduate with honors.
Love it.
Okay. Our next question comes from Rashonda. She wants to know how long it takes to transfer into KSU. If she wants to be a transfer student, like what's the process?
So traditionally, a transfer student has to complete 30 or more transferable semester hours and have a college GPA of a 2.0 or higher coming in. So if you're coming as a transfer student from another institution, you can always go on our transfer articulation. It'll show you every single course that will transfer from your previous institution over to KSU. So that's what we look for a traditional transfer student. And then our turnaround time is the same as a traditional freshman. It's usually about 3 to 4 weeks. Now, if you have multiple colleges that you've attended previously, we will have to go through each of those courses just to make sure you have enough transfer hours, but the turnaround time to make a decision is about 3 or 4 weeks.
Our next question comes from Priscilla. How many students are accepted into the Honors College each year?
Well, right now we have about 1,200 students who are currently in the program. What we found is that with this new curriculum, we're getting more and more applicants, and we're still in growth mode. So we're not going to cut off after a certain amount of students right now. But 1,200 is generally, I guess, the number that we have at this moment.
That's it for questions at the moment.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So we've talked about how to apply. We've talked a little bit about just the Honors College in general, but I think that people want to know about the flexible curriculum and what are the 8 different learning experiences that students can pick from, and how does that, what does that actually look like? What are some of the study abroad opportunities or some of the really cool things that y'all have done?
Yeah, so we do have study abroad within the Honors College. We do something called City as Text every year. We've traveled to London in the past. We've traveled to Berlin, so we do try to offer that every year. We also do domestic travel. So one of the opportunities that you have within the Honors College is to do something called an Honors Discovery. And it's non-credit bearing, so there's no tuition associated with it. And there might be a little bit of a cost just depending on what the experience is. But we traveled domestically, and we're doing this again this year. But we worked with Habitat for Humanity as an alternative spring break last year. So we stayed at Windshape Camp up at Berry College, which is just gorgeous if you've ever been there. And we just stayed the whole week, and students paid $200, and that included lodging and food, and we got some leadership training while we were there, and of course we worked with Habitat, we painted houses. So that was just one of the really cool opportunities. So we do that domestic travel. The discoveries are just really neat, and they're just for honors students. So that one's always really popular and fills up quickly. You can also do things like an honors contract, and that can count as an honors learning experience, which is basically just an extra project in a class. So you could be taking any 3 credit hour class here at the institution, and you can turn that into an honors learning experience, which is really cool. So you just talk to that professor, figure out what you're interested in, and just add that little extra element. You can take honors courses. We have them ranging from lower level core courses like English 1101 all the way up to upper division special topics courses. You could do an internship. So we have a lot of students who go off and do really neat internships at the Carter Center, and you can turn that into an honors learning experience. We also have things like research assistant experience, so especially students who are majoring in biology. We have a lot of pre-med students here in the Honors College. They typically like to get that lab time, and faculty always want honors students, and that lab time can be a little bit hard to get sometimes. So that can turn into an honors learning experience. You could be a TA, so if you take a course, you excel at it, you think, I really enjoyed this course, you like the faculty member, then you could help with that course next semester and get honors credit for it. So that's just a few of the options as far as that flexible curriculum and choosing what you're interested in and based on your major.
Now I'm going to dig in a little bit because I want you to tell them about the honors discovery that we always talk about, because I find it so fascinating. And that to me is honors education. It's something that you just can't get in a normal college class, like in a normal 16-week class. Like what is this experience that you and I talk about?
You're talking about bone records, yeah. He knows I like this to talk about this. So bone records was the very first discovery that we did in the Honors College, and we did that back in fall 2017. And the dean of the College of the Arts, she was a collector of these things called bone records that I had never heard of before. And basically, the Soviet Union back in the 1950s, music was censored. So they wanted to listen to things like Elvis and the Beach Boys, and they couldn't. So they figured out that they could actually etch music onto X-rays, and that is how they could smuggle music in and out of the country. And they, it was very easy to hide it under their coat, and then they could trade it on the black market. So the dean of the College of the Arts, she was a collector of these. She heard a podcast about it and thought, well, this is the neatest thing ever. And she started collecting them. So we heard about this, and she wanted to teach an honors discovery for us. So it was a 5-week course, non-credit bearing, but they met for about an hour each week, and they just talked about propaganda and that censorship, and they made their own homemade lathes in class, which was really neat for students. And then the culminating experience was traveling to Nashville for a day, and we just toured music studios. So Martina McBride's studio, we went to Jack White's studio, just a really cool experience that honors students got to have, and I quickly volunteered to drive the band of students, so yeah. I got to go as well, and it was incredible. It was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. So. And
did students have to pay anything for that experience?
There was no cost for that. Everything was included. So we went to Nashville, their transportation was included, and the course didn't have any credit with it, so it was just a really cool experience. It was over in 5 weeks, but it was a way for them to get their honors learning experience without having to take that additional class that they have to pay for.
So to me, that sounds like picking a discovery for one semester. If you have maybe a crazy semester, you know you're going to be it's going to be intense, but you still want, or something's interesting like one of these honors discoveries. That sounds like it's a perfect fit. Doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't really take up your normal week-to-week class time, but you're still getting the honors experience.
Yeah, so we count up to 2 of those as your honors credit. You can take as many as you want. A lot of students, they like to take more than that just because they find that they enjoy them. We have a lot of people who went on ASB who are going again, they just loved it. So yeah, it's a really cool experience that only honors students get.
Nice.
We got a question, a couple of them. Hannah wants to know if students can still apply to our culinary program.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Hey Hannah, I don't know if you're a current student here or not, or if you're interested in coming, but no, you may not apply to our culinary program. We're phasing out the culinary sustainability and hospitality degree program, so unfortunately you're not available to apply to it. Or enter it as a current student if you're not already in the program.
Okay. Our next question comes from Joanne. Her daughter is a current high school senior dual enrollment student. She's transferring to KSU with 63 credit hours. Woo. She wants to apply for the honors college and she wants to cheer. Honest opinion, do you think that that's going to be too much to handle, assuming she is accepted into honors and makes the cheer team?
I mean, it's hard to say because I don't know the course load that goes along with that, but I don't think it's too much because, you know, what we try to do with this flexible curriculum is find what works for you, and that's why we have things like the honors discovery. So if you know that you're going to be really busy during the semester, we really try to tailor that so that you can participate in everything that you want to. The busiest students on campus are honors students. That's honestly the truth. Our honors students love to be involved in everything. So this would not be the first time this has happened, but I definitely would not discourage you from feeling like you have to, not do honors because you feel like it's going to be too much. That's not our goal. So.
And let me start to tell you about a student, and I'm going to have Casey finish talking about this student. We all have experiences with this student, but when I think about an honors student, whether or not they're able to handle their actual academic major, their honors side of their education, and then other activities, I think of Erica Moody. Yeah. Erica graduated from KSU, star student. I won't tell you, let Casey tell you all about her accolades, but she was my very first student assistant. So she worked for me. She was our honors college tour guide. She was majoring in economics. And she was working at one point 3 jobs. So 3 jobs, including the job she had with me. And she was just a driven person. And it showed. It honestly made her who she is today. I think that she came to school with that work ethic. So as Casey was talking about, not knowing the student's curriculum and what's necessary for them to graduate, but also not knowing the student without really knowing your student. It is hard to say, can you do it or can you not? But I like to think about the students that we do have that are doing it and even more. And I think it's definitely possible. It depends on the student's drive and their determination, what their goals are. And really setting priorities. I have a 20-year-old daughter now. Wow, her birthday was on Sunday, so it's really weird to say 20-year-old daughter. She's no longer a teenager. I'm old. Yeah, old. Look at the gray hair. And I talk to her all the time, and if she ends up seeing this video, she's gonna be like, oh, dang. But I talk to her all the time about what are your priorities. Lay out your priorities. As long as these things are within your priorities, make it happen and get them done. So I think that your daughter would be just fine. Honors, cheerleading, majoring in anything, no problem, right? But finish off about Erica. So what did Erica? What was she awarded, and then what is she doing now?
Erica is amazing. She actually was a Fulbright recipient. So she applied for this prestigious award that allowed her to basically go to the United Kingdom on a fully funded scholarship to get a master's degree. So she studied at the University of Nottingham over in the UK, and she got a stipend while she was there, and she got her Master of Science in Behavioral Economics. So she was just incredible. And then she was also, like Jordan said, a tour guide while she was here. She was part of our Great Books cohort. She was really involved in that. And then she just got a very prestigious new position that I had to write down because it is so fancy. She is now a junior business intelligence developer for intercontinental exchange. So I have no doubt she'll continue to go amazing places. She's really an incredible student.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not a question, but similar to what you guys just said. Bonnie from earlier just wanted some more reassurance that her student could successfully partake in extracurriculars and being part of the performance studies group as well as honors.
Yeah.
And we talk all the time, Casey and I, when we're doing a day with honors, we're talking all the time with families that come to campus and students that come to campus, and that is a concern. Especially when you think about college today and the pressure that's put on students to succeed, not only in high school, but that's setting them up for going to college and the pressure that they have to endure and the stress while they're trying to earn their college degree. And there's a lot riding on a college degree, right? But just as I tell my own student is, as long as you prioritize, and really I'm going to say as long as you lean in to that pressure and you actually have this determination to be successful and to put in the work. And as long as something doesn't come out of left field and totally throw you off, then you're going to be successful. We talk about honors isn't adding time in your week. It's not adding time to degree. It is enhancing your undergraduate education, and it doesn't matter which major. It can be heavy-handed STEM, or it can be something in the humanities or liberal arts like my degree, or it can be something in business like these two young ladies, or it can be something in performing arts. And this is going to change your student or you as the student, and this is going to really, it may give you a different viewpoint even within your major, something that comes up either in an honors class or while you're doing an honors discovery that changes the way you look at your major or maybe what you focus on in your major, and helps you really find your passion. So that honors is about helping you. It's not only about, but it is going to help you as a student explore what you're truly interested in and really become an enlightened person, a holistic person that's able to get out in the world, be a critical thinker, a true professional, and a humanitarian, that you can take all these things and add it to whatever your degree program is. So whether you're actually working in the helping field or you're working in performing arts or you're working in business, whatever it may be, it's going to change the way that you think. And that's really what you want. And we talk to students. I would say that if you as a student are looking at honors and you're not really in it, like you're not thinking that you want to do it because it's going to actually enhance your education, it's going to cause you to think about things in a different way and really push you as a student, then it's probably not the program for you. If you're doing it just so you can have honors on your diploma, and so arguably, although it is worth gold, so you can have priority registration, it's not the right program for you. And you're going to kind of flounder through it and not really get engaged and involved the way that you should. And I would say that you shouldn't be in honors. But if you're really looking for an opportunity, this is an opportunity. And we've seen, just like with Erica, how it totally changes the trajectory of students. And in Erica's case, And if she's watching this or not, just let me know. Sorry, Erica, if I've said too much. But I got to meet Erica's family. I was at her graduation ceremony with honors, and I know that college changed Erica. I know that it allowed her to really, in the words of Heath Ledger from that Knight's Tale, change her stars. Isn't that a good throwback? I mean, cool. You were probably in middle school when that movie came out. So watch the movie. It's a great movie, A Knight's Tale. Thank you. My broadcast services people agree. And anyways, he says this bit about it. I think it's his dad that says it, but it's change your stars. And so anyways, there you go. Somehow I always pull that out. Erica changed her stars.
And if I could add too, the really nice thing for Erica with being in honors, not only was it additional opportunity, but being in such a small community, she got to know all of us in the Honors College. So then she was able to come back when she knew she wanted to apply for that Fulbright scholarship. She could come get a letter of recommendation. And she knew all of us. So, you know, it did allow her that opportunity to be in that smaller setting so that we could really get to know her.
KJ says he loves that movie.
Yeah. KJ? Nice. Yeah. KJ Choi?
No.
Professional
KJ,
golfer?
KJ Lindsay.
Okay, KJ Lindsay. What's up?
Yeah.
I was hoping you were KJ Choi, but anyways. I'm sure you're cool. What else we got?
That's it for now.
Okay, nice. Hey, yeah.
I was going to
Please.
ask you.
Yeah.
So outside of getting gold by signing up for classes,
Yes.
and different
Yeah.
orientation,
Not
and
literal gold.
not
No,
literal gold,
no.
unless you
We don't
black and
offer
gold.
that.
Hooty hoo. What other benefits do you get outside of just those things for the Honors College?
Yeah, so outside of that, our president has been so good to honors. We actually have more scholarship dollars to give out than ever before, so we are really excited. So if you're part of the Honors College, when you fill out your scholarship application, if you're accepted to honors, you will be eligible for that honor scholarship money. So that is also another huge draw. And then our cohort programs also have dedicated scholarships that go along with that. And then of course we have honors housing for incoming first-year students who really want it. We have honors lounges on both campuses, so it doesn't matter what campus you're on, you can fully participate in honors. We do have honors lounges within the dorms as well. We also have really cool events. So we range from academic events like workshops, and we always try to bring in a really special speaker, all the way to fun events. So we're doing a ping pong tournament this next week that I think is going to be fun.
Table tennis.
That's what our
Yeah.
director keeps telling me,
Right.
is that it's table tennis technically, but ping pong just sounded better in the marketing materials.
Yeah.
So
She has a really cool banner for it on the Honors College
I like
website.
it. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
check it out. It's a throwback. It's cool.
yeah, so we do those special events. We have this really special, community, this smaller community, and we all get to know each other. So
And how many students are in a classroom typically for honors?
only 25, and that's really nice. Students, they don't have to take honors classes, but once they take them, they really like them because they do it's more of a seminar-style discussion-based class rather than lecture style. So if you think you're going to like that discussion-based class, dive deeper into topics with that smaller class size, you're probably really going to like honors classes. And then I've also seen classes as small as 6 people. So that's really nice to get to know your professor, because you can imagine if you're in a lecture hall and there's 80 to 100 people in there, it's going to be a little bit hard to get to know your professor and get some one-on-one time with them. And then that also really works to students' advantage when they want to work in a lab, and maybe they had this honors professor that they really liked. They can approach them and the professor remembers them as an honors student, and so students get a lot of additional opportunities through those smaller class sizes.
Awesome. So maybe let's talk about what's coming up for admissions and honors as far as events and that kind of thing.
So if you're watching this, or you come back and you watch it later, and you're like, yeah, honors, how do I come and experience it, learn a little more? Well, we have something for you. I tried to make that cheesy, but not too cheesy. So we have a day with honors. We've been talking about it, and it is an honors tour. It's an honors information session where you're going to hear from me, You're going to hear from Casey. You may even hear from Jacinta.
Maybe.
Like if I'm not there, then Jacinta.
Then I fill in.
Yep. But you may even hear from Becca, 'cause she shows up sometimes. She just gives out stuff. She gives out all these prizes. Everybody loves Becca.
She's like Santa.
Yeah. So, Jewish Santa. Yeah, thank you. If you didn't know, Becca's Jewish. That's why she said that. Yeah. So, but a day with honors. We're typically doing them twice a month. We'll do them all throughout the rest of this semester. Our last ones will be in April, but we've got 3 up right now. So if you want to come, you go to our visit website. It's visit.kennesaw.edu. Really easy, visit.kennesaw.edu. You can get to it from our admissions homepage as well. And click on special events, and under special events, you're going to see a day with honors. And there's 3 dates out there right now. We've got February 8th, so that's the next one. So come see us February 8th. We'd love to have you. February 15th, so don't go on a really late Valentine's date, or maybe you do, and then you get to take the next day off and come spend it with us, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe we'll have some Valentine's goodies like left over from the day before. You and I can give them out. We need to work on that. Get Dean Bailey on that. Oh yeah, Becca's got the goodies. Jewish Valentines. And do you get anything special on Valentine's? No, bummer. Lots of chocolates. Okay. And then we've got one on March the 8th as well. So a lot of opportunities coming up. We'll have, again, I said we'll have more in April to come. So watch out for those. And then we've also got some really big open houses coming up. And open house, you can actually hear from honors at open house.
Mm-hmm.
They do some great sessions, and your sessions have been really packed.
They've been
lately.
packed, yeah. We've been super happy with how many people we've had, and we usually piggyback off of admissions day, so you don't have to choose. You can come to us right after.
Yeah, perfect. So if you want to sign up for open house, I want to give you the direct link. It is admissions.kennesaw.edu/open house. So admissions.kennesaw.edu/open house. You can also get to it from our visit page that I've mentioned before. But sign up for open house. We're doing them on both campuses. So if you're going to major in something like mechatronics or construction management or computer science, come to the Marietta campus, feel out your campus. If you're going to major in something like business or education, nursing, something like that, then come to our Kennesaw campus. Or if you don't know what you want to major in, come to both. Yeah.
We would like to see you.
And everybody's welcome at open house. So not just freshmen or prospective freshmen. We want to see transfer students. We want to see adult learners. We want to see grandma that can come for free because she's over 62. You know, there's a really cool program in Georgia. If you're over 62, then your tuition's paid for. So hello, come on, adult learners. We will take you. But come for open house and check out our campuses. And registration is open now.
Okay, for a day with honors, is that for students only or parents as well?
Parents come too.
Yeah.
Students and parents, come one, come all.
Yep.
That's it right now?
Perfect.
All right.
Maybe.
You want me to talk about it, or you want to talk about it? What were you going to say?
Oh, I wasn't
You were going to say something.
was I going to say something? I'm not sure. No.
No? Okay.
No.
Let's quickly touch on the special cohorts because we haven't talked about those.
Yeah, talk about PEGs.
And then we'll work on letting everybody know the rest of the cool stuff to come with Ask Admissions. All right. So you talk about the big one.
Yeah,
And
so
I'll talk about the other one.
we have 2 cohorts. I'm going to talk about the President's Emerging Global Scholars Program. It's a 5-semester cohort. So basically students, it's limited to 25. The GPA requirement is a 3.7, and students in that cohort get an incredible experience. So they get 5, it's 2.5 semesters basically, and they get their own special curriculum. Our dean is actually directing that program, so she's very heavily involved in it. They take the classes together, and then as part of that program, they travel internationally. So students, this year, the freshman cohort is going to Costa Rica, and then the sophomores are going to Italy for 2 weeks. And the really cool thing about PEGS is that, we call it PEGS for short, PEGS comes with a dedicated scholarship. So during the 5-semester program, it's $2,750 that's divided over that period. And then students in that program also get dedicated travel money. So for students who are going to Costa Rica this year, I believe it was about $450 for a week. And then Italy was about $700, and that includes everything from their lodging, airfare, food, admission to things like the Coliseum, which can be really expensive. And if you've ever traveled internationally, you know that you can't even get your flight for that. So incredible program. It's really, the dean works really closely with those students, and they work on things like leadership and service. We have a service component as part of it that students really enjoy, and then cultural competency.
Nice.
I did that like speed.
You did great.
Awesome.
So I get to talk about Great Books. Great Books is the other cohort. It is a freshman cohort, and it's limited to 25 students. And essentially what Great Books is it will transform that freshman year. And you get to approach subjects like American government from the perspective of great books from history. So it started in 1909. Harvard's president started this approach to liberal arts education, and it just swept through the nation. And there's still some great books programs out there in other honors colleges, but ours, there's 150 great texts from history, so we teach from those texts or books. So like American government, instead of having a large edited textbook, you learn about American government from Alexis de Tocqueville's Democracy in America, which was written in the early 1800s. Really cool. Alexis de Tocqueville's a Frenchman, and the core of our government was founded from the French, so thank you, France. It's really neat how something written in, I think it was like 1832, I can't remember the exact date, applies today. So you're learning from this perspective of great books over time, and you're learning with your cohort. They also get to do a study abroad trip together. They go to Italy. We have our campus in Italy, Montepulciano, really cool. The building that you're in was built in the 1100s, so pretty wild. It's just an incredible experience for students. So they also have scholarships, great books. I would recommend you go to the Honors College website and learn all about these programs. I want to tell you about a couple things that are coming up for Ask Admissions, so we want to make sure that you stay engaged with us. If you haven't figured it out yet, we do this once a month. We're always doing them on Mondays. Today's a great day because a lot of people have an inclement weather day tomorrow, so you're probably just chilling on Facebook right now, surfing or whatever. This is for all the moms out there. I was told that The Bachelor's up next. What's the guy's name? Colton, okay, yeah, so we hopefully prepped you well for that. Yeah. We're gonna let you go here in a second so you can definitely catch The Bachelor. But coming up in February, we're gonna talk all about academic advising. So that person that asked earlier, way early in this session, about what we're doing to make sure students can get classes, and there's class availability and lab availability. We're going to talk all about academic advising in February. In March, we're going to talk about student success. So some of the really specialized programs and unique opportunities we have here at the institution, student leaders, ways to keep your Hope Scholarship and thrive while you're here at the institution. We're going to talk all about those kinds of programs around student success. And then in April, we're going to do this thing called Declaration Days. This is a nationwide competition where you're going to declare KSU. So it's kind of like you've ever seen like Cam Newton doing the Superman thing. Like that's what I always think about when I think Declaration Days. So it's like KSU, who to who. We want you to declare your school, and that's KSU. We compete against other schools. Last year we were third in the nation, so incredible. Number one was Florida State University. We think number two was like Oklahoma or West Virginia, somebody like that. So we're going up against some big schools, and we're winning. So watch out for Declaration Days, and you have the ability to win some really cool stuff. So you're going to definitely want to follow us there. Closing out, I want Casey to make sure you hit your website again and hit your social media stuff to let them know.
So the website is honors.kennesaw.edu, and then for our social media, it is Honors KSU. So we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and one of the best ways that you can get to know the schools that you're looking at is to look at their social media and see the kinds of things that they're posting, what kinds of events and deadlines and the opportunities that they're offering you. Please follow us. We try to be really good about posting so you can get that inside look.
Nice. And Casey has been modest, but she does pretty much everything in the Honors College, including all of that social media stuff. And she does a fantastic job. So
I love it.
yes, you do a great job. So please go, Dr. Bailey, raise.
I didn't tell him to say that.
She did a wink, wink. Make sure you go to their website, check out all their social stuff. You're obviously on our Facebook page. Check out all of our admissions social stuff. Hit us with all of our hashtags. So Wise Choice KSU, Discover KSU. And go to our website, admissions.kennesaw.edu. We're going to be accepting your questions after this as well. So if you've watched through this whole session and you still have questions or you want to know more from Casey, you can hit us there in the text box. Ask your questions, and we're going to answer them later on. We need to close with allies.
Yes.
You want to make some allies?
Yeah.
All
You
right.
gotta connect them.
No, I probably need to get rid of my bottle
Yeah.
so
I
it
gotta
doesn't
do
show
it.
up.
You're gonna connect them here?
Yeah.
That was loud. Sorry, guys.
Awesome. There you go.
Hooty hoo!